we have Trello, we have Planning Center, we have, go down the list. You add one more thing, it's like, no, I cannot do that.
There's been times in ministry I'm like, yeah, Dave, I'm not accepting your invite. Show me one volunteer who's like, yeah, give me the list of apps. I'm gonna get it logged in. I'm gonna check them all every day. It's just not a reality. Like, we're having a hard enough time getting our volunteers to accept an invite to serve. Yet we want to implement more tools.
I was talking about this the other day with our VP of Productions, and I was talking about implementing.
You have a VP of Productions?
Well, like over all productions, logistics, he is final say over everything. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And
I thought that was you.
No, you don't want me over production. And he said, I was talking about, hey, let's streamlining all of our data, services, logistics inside of an app.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we have too many of those so far, where I've used too many apps already or too many softwares already.
It's software, not softwares.
So there's no plural.
No.
Softwares.
No, software.
One software or two software.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
One software. I could say 100 software.
Yeah. We use a bunch of different software.
That makes sense. I like the way that rolls out. I don't like the way two software.
Well,
so I'm not going to say it.
You could say,
and I'll say what I want.
Say two software applications.
Two software application.
No, two software applications.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just a small little thing. I actually don't even care, but
I respect
working
it.
in software for a long time, I've been corrected by a lot of engineers.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Anyways, and imagine that, an engineer correcting somebody.
100%.
Yep.
Of course they're correcting people. I don't understand his take though. Like, what? We want to house everything in one tool. Oh no, we can't do that.
Because there's too many tools. There's too many things.
The point is getting rid of all the too many tools.
And coming down to one. Right. Yeah. So that's where I was headed. So it's like we have Trello, we have Planning Center, we have, go down the list.
Using Docs, Drive,
everything. It's you add one more thing. It's like, no.
Yes.
I cannot do that. That's too much work.
Well, it's a pain too to work with people who are obsessed with that many tools.
Yeah.
It's like, there's been times in ministry where I'm like, yeah, Dave, I'm not accepting your invite to Trello. I don't want to be on another tool.
Right.
I don't want another place to look at.
Right.
But like, there are those people, you probably have them in your ministry where it's just like, this guy is obsessed with new tools. And I got all these invites and I do not want another invite to a thing to look at.
That's right. And when you're specifically a freelancer, so I know that we're not talking about freelancers in this regard, you work for multiple companies. All these multiple companies have their apps and their tools and stuff. So, but like in the ministry standpoint, say I volunteer not just on the weekends. I volunteer in kids ministry. I volunteer in First Impressions, and they all have their own apps and their own way to do things, right? So it's like, what is the right one?
Yeah.
Like what do we use? What is the easiest? What's the best, most effective way to manage something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
it's something we're trying to figure out right now.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky too. I filmed a video about this maybe a month or so ago. There are a lot of niche aspects of our ministry in what we do. And so it can be easy to creep into, oh, we use this one thing over here for our patch sheet creation and documentation. We use Planning Center for scheduling, and we use email, but we also like to use WhatsApp. And I don't know why we use both, but we still do for some reason. There's like, when it comes to communication, we're certainly using too many tools. I find like it's just very fragmented and how we're communicating. It's wild to me that in the 5 or so churches I talk to every day, more often than not, and I ask this question to everybody because we obviously solve this with MxU. I ask them like, hey, what do you guys use for communication? They're like, we don't really use a communication tool. I'm like, that is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes even like on the internal staff, maybe they're using like Microsoft Teams. Some are maybe using Slack, but like, yeah, with their volunteers, it's emails, which is crazy. I just don't. Anyways, communication, fragmented, all of our other niche problems that we need to solve. Yeah, we're incorporating a lot of different tools.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why having so many tools is a bad thing. We've talked about some of the pain point, but like really as a leader, why we should be on a vicious endeavor to eliminate our tools.
I don't know. For me, I think it's all personal, because you may have an engineer or someone that can look at a plate full of different apps and go, I'm fine. My brain works that way. It's nothing for me to say, oh, you want to add a new system? That's cool. But then you have on the other side of things, which would maybe fall in the more creative, high pace, unorganized. It's almost like intimidating. It's almost like when someone reaches out to me like on LinkedIn and says, hey, producer man, have you tried our new, all-in-one logistics, how to produce an event software? And I'm like, that just overwhelms me, just the paragraph. I'm like, I got to now take time to learn it, experience it, use it. I got to take it and now teach my team how to use it and get them all in, right? But I only think that way is because I already have so many other things to do. So it's like an overwhelming, stressful thing. So it's like, why should we eliminate stuff? Well, because of that reason right there.
Yeah.
I'm already doing too much. If you are a leader and you're like one more idea stresses you out, you may be working on too many ideas already.
Yeah. We as leaders can get tool happy because sometimes when we don't know what to do, or it's not obvious what to do, like adding something new seems like the right approach. We see this with equipment, right? We want to purchase new gear. We want to purchase new tools, new process, whatever it may be. And wiring is very important. Like, just like you said, like there's some people who get excited about that, some people who don't. What I'm finding is that no volunteer gets excited about using multiple tools to serve at their church.
Right.
Show me one volunteer who's like, yeah, give me the list of apps. I'm going to get it logged in. I'm going to check them all every day. Like it's just not a reality. Like we're having a hard enough time getting our volunteers to accept an invite to serve. It's like the most relatable content these days on social media, like waiting for volunteers to confirm, right? Mm-hmm. Yet we want to implement more tools. And we've in some ways maybe forgotten that like the crux of our volunteer or the crux of our ministry is like volunteer driven, or at least volunteer operated, right? Like maybe you're driving, but you got operators that are all volunteer. So the first question we should be asking in any tool that we're incorporating, whether it's buying a new console, whether it's incorporating new software, whatever it may be, is how is this going to affect my volunteer culture? Because if my volunteer culture goes down the drain, or if I can't get people to show up, I'm kind of screwed, right? So from my perspective, that is the high level why of going through and viciously eliminating the fat of all your tools, right?
Yeah.
I do want to talk. I do think there's some opportunity on this podcast. We don't really talk about MxU a lot on this podcast, mainly because for me, attention it just feels like I want it to be helpful. I don't want it to just be like a sales pitch, which is why we don't even do many mid-roll ads. Maybe we will in the future if somebody convinces me otherwise. But all that to say, I do want to talk about how we could be maybe bringing all of these tools into one, right? One of the tensions, let's talk about Planning Center, because you know Planning Center services very well, right? You've used it for many years. Mm-hmm. Many of our listeners use Planning Center services. Where are some of the gaps there that we're finding? Like, because that is the tool that we consistently see churches using. Yeah. When's the last time you talked to a church that wasn't using Planning Center? It's not very often.
It's not often. It does happen. I spoke at a denominational gathering, general council last year, and I did a breakout for weekend teams. I remember thinking the same thing. I said, "Hey, who uses Planning Center in here?" And like 4 people raised their hand. I was like, "Holy smokes!"
Yeah.
There's still a lot of churches out there, and you see this with MxU. It's like,
Yeah.
not, I mean, we think in our space everyone uses it, but it's actually not. And I would say, to answer your question though, let's back up a decade ago when Planning Center was just another app for just weekend planning and scheduling volunteers.
Yeah.
And they knew
when it was the same product it basically is today for services.
Yeah, well, but
Yeah.
But now today though, they at least they have kids check-ins and giving.
They've expanded to all these other areas.
So maybe they were hearing like, hey, we're just another app, amongst all these other apps. So how do we, monopolize it and become one? That's the wrong word to use. They're not a monopoly, but you know what I mean? Like, how do we make it easier for the consumer?
Yeah.
And upper prices. Was smart.
Yeah.
I don't know Planning Center well enough outside of weekend planning.
Yeah. Which is really what we're talking about here, because that's what worship and tech teams
to say what it's lacking. But I do know that at one point they were lacking a lot for the overall church leader, like the executive pastor, the pastor that's looking at it going, man, we pay how much for Planning Center and it only does weekend planning? But now we got to pay for F1. We got, that was still a thing back then. Fellowship 1, we got to pay for this. We got to pay for that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if someone just came out with an app that did it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that's part of the issue that I'm seeing for folks in Planning Center is it's a great tool. It's like a glorified spreadsheet in some ways. You put your plan in there.
Mm-hmm.
You send out invites. It is not a great tool for bidirectional communication, right? Like volunteers, they're like, this is where I go to like find out information about the plan for this coming weekend.
I mean, that's how it started. I mean, the founder was building notebooks for his volunteers and realized, I'm done building notebooks. There's got to be something out there digitally that I can put together core charts for our team.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah. So I'd love for you to even beat up, because this is something we're in the middle of right now with MxU, of trying to bring everything into one place, right? This is why we've built. The reason I bring in Planning Center is because
I've been telling MxU to do that for ever.
Okay. Well, now you can ask me like, hey, has that finally gotten done? We can talk about it. But like with our Planning Center integration, one of the biggest things that we've been trying to solve is, obviously MxU started as training, and that's something that nobody has even been able to touch. I mean, it sounds prideful, arrogant. It's just the truth. Like, no one's been able to touch our effectiveness when it comes to training, in the platform paired with all the content for worship and tech teams. But okay, so we've kind of solved this training issue. If you weren't aware, like thousands of churches use MxU to train their teams, and they do it very successfully. But we still have these other issues that we are up against, that nobody has really put any real purpose-built tool together that can solve the issue of training, planning, and running Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. We're using planning. Some people might be using Planning Center Live, running their Sunday, but there's still so many pieces missing there. Like, how many churches? Let's take something like service volume level. We're using apps to track service volume level. Mm-hmm. Like, some are maybe using Smart. Some people are using their Apple Watch. Maybe they're using. We're using apps for notes. Where are our notes kept for the weekend? Because Planning Center, you have your Planning Center run sheet, but like, where are your individual notes for each position? Your sermon notes. Where the sermon notes go? Do those get emailed from pastor, and then you print those out and you have them next to your service order sheet, right? We're using ProPresenter to execute slides.
Yep.
We won't even get into the communication thing. I already talked about that. All of our various apps we like to use for communication. It's all about streaming. We're using Resi for streaming, or maybe some are bringing it to YouTube, some are bringing it to Facebook. How are we tracking those analytics? Nobody even knows how to track those analytics, because it's not really, maybe there's built-in analytics into those tools, but you're going to invite your team now and everyone's going to have a Resi login. Like, your producers are going to have a Resi login so they can see stream analytics there.
Yeah.
Timers. Some are using ProPresenter timers, some are using Planning Center timers, some are using just native time on the back wall, whatever. Like,
whatever widget they can find.
Yeah. And then where does all those metrics go? How do we evaluate, like, were we 10 minutes over? Were we 10 minutes under? It's a little bit overwhelming. Like, there's so much. Tasks and checklists. We recently recorded a podcast about tasks and checklists. Where do those live? Mm-hmm. It really, what ends up happening is these things just don't really get executed. or they don't get executed all that well because it's just too confusing and too fragmented for the team to get on board, right? So something like we're working really hard on is, okay, we know people are going to use Planning Center. Like it's a great tool to like schedule your people and put like a service order. We need to talk about like multi-tracks too. Like now we've got other playback apps. Sorry, I could just go down the list. There's so many. We know people are using Planning Center, ProPresenter. We know these tools they're using. What if we could bring them all together, right, into one place so that everybody can access these tools with one login and not have to have all this fragmented access everywhere. And so something we're working really hard on is, okay, we've got training in MxU. Through the Planning Center integration, we have all your serving data. We have all your weekend plans. We have things like your song library, ProPresenter, native integration right to your ProPresenter machines. So you can even operate ProPresenter from MxU. There's all this functionality that's getting brought into one place, and we're incredibly passionate about it. So anyways, I took your advice and we did it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So like planning services and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, now with you, there's a few different, like, we really built it around somebody using Planning Center so that switching is not as painful, right? But like, you could go into MxU, you can see all your people serving. Pretty soon, AI will be able to schedule your team for you and update it in Planning Center. Somebody, like, think about this, like, when we've all had this happen, bass player gets sick, declines for the weekend on like a Thursday. You're like, oh, shoot. What do? You don't go into Planning Center. You just like go schedule somebody. Now you get on your phone, you're texting people, right? You're like, hey, can you do it? Oh, I can, like the first service, not the second service. Okay, can you do it? Like, and it's that back and forth. We shouldn't have to do that anymore. Like, we have computers, we have systems that we can build to be able to solve that issue. So pretty soon, like MxU AI is going to be able to fill your positions proactively, even when people decline. Or maybe you have still 6 people who are unconfirmed for the weekend. And you're like, normally I would go and text people, okay, what if they were already proactively texted, reached out to, and it was like, hey, still see you're unconfirmed. Can I go ahead and confirm for you in Planning Center? You're going to be there, right?
Yeah.
So it's things like that
great.
We're really dedicated to making better. But yeah, so all like services, analytics, this is something that I really want to show you soon is like analytics. How long did each song go, over or under? What volume was it, right? Having all of that happen automatically, triggered by your ProPresenter machine. No one's sitting there like clicking through the service while it's going. Your operators, your producers can see everything. Like maybe you have multi-site church, see all your timers, all your services in one view. Be able to see, oh, such campus is a little over time right now. Such campus just wrapped up. Be able to view all of those live experiences if all those campuses are live streaming. I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah.
And this is we have some churches that are early testing this. It's coming. It will, when this episode is out, maybe some of it will be in early access, but I am kind of on, I would say I am on this like journey to try to eliminate all the apps that we're using right now.
Yeah.
For a volunteer's sake, because I think one of the biggest issues, as we've tried to help train volunteers, that was a big issue. Well, we found those people are like, oh, my volunteers, like getting them to stay around is actually probably one of the bigger issues I'm up against. And how do we get them to be more engaged in the ministry? Well, it's like, we got to make the barrier to entry easier. And part of that is stop inviting them to 5 different tools. Have an app where you can communicate with them. Have an app where you can set expectations for them. Have an app where they can be resourced and learn, right? All of those things together. Anyways, I've said enough. I'm really excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I got nothing to say. That's cool. Looking forward to seeing it. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
Anytime there's just one, I'm like, there's got to be something out there that could, not necessarily compete, but maybe help.
Yeah.
In some areas that the other may be missing.
Yeah. Well, again, like all these tools are helpful. It's just they're not. You start totaling up the count of them and the fact that, operationally it's just kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
And anyone listening, you know what I mean. You're in the middle of it right now. You're like, yeah, dude, that's exactly what I'm up against.
I wonder if we can use it in live events.
Well, I've already told you, absolutely you can. Dashboard inside MxU is going to be, there is no tool out there that you can be a slave or operate your ProPresenter machine from. Also track service decibels, also track notes, also track your service order, also track your timers, like all of that in one dashboard. There is no other tool. It's going to be a game changer.
Nice.
So, anything else we need to talk about using too many apps?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's too overwhelming.
Just for the sake of your volunteers, just think about it a little more critically and realize, oh, this might be a huge blocker in me getting this ministry to where it needs to be from a volunteer culture standpoint.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening to the rant and some of the sales pitch. It's just, we're way too passionate about it to not talk about it. If you want to learn more about everything I just talked about and see live demo, see how it could actually practically work in your environment, you can, there's going to be a link in the description below. You can get in touch with us. We'll meet with you, show you around. If you want to learn more about MxU, you can head to our website. We'll put a link in the description below as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the MxU podcast.